This week in Jamaica Now, murder madness, quadruple murder rocks Hanover. The police commissioner says new strategies but different approach in crime fighting. And the Prime Minister says resources from other ministries may have to be diverted to deal with crime. Captain Horace Burrell to be buried on June 28. Patrick Powell begs judge for mercy as he denies allegations he refused to hand over his gun to police for inspection. And why the Quashie River in Trelawney is running red. I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. It was another terrible week for Jamaica as more multiple murders and isolated homicides were recorded, further pushing the murder tally over the 600 mark since the start of the year. Again, Hanover was the focus where 4 members of one family were shot dead in the quaint community of Mount Carmel on Wednesday morning. The victims have been identified as 60-year-old driver Curtis Walters, his common-law wife 34-year-old Erica Leslie, who was unemployed, his 17-year-old son, Ayanna Walters, who had dropped out of school, and his 14-year-old daughter, Curtina Walters, a student of the Green Island High School in the parish. And a day later, there was another homicide, pushing the Hanover murder tally to 38 since the start of the year. Meanwhile, the police commissioner, George Quayle, has unveiled a series of short-term measures he says the police will be pursuing to arrest the crime spike. He says they are not new strategies, but a different approach will be taken by a force now more motivated and committed. The measures include cordons and searches, curfews and detentions for preventative and investigative purposes.
I am aware that some of these strategies will inconvenience citizens, but in the interest of safety and security, I crave your patience and understanding.
The Commissioner has also committed to increased police patrols in crime hotspots and permanent presence in volatile communities. And the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, says the government will be considering shifting allocations from some ministries to pump more money into crime fighting. According to the Prime Minister, the wave of crime is testing his leadership. But Mr. Holness says he's not willing to take the easy way out to end murders.
The public wants action. They want to see enforcement. But sometimes you hit the ground, what are you going to enforce on? Who are you going to arrest? You can't go with a scattershot policy. And so intelligence is absolutely important.
Mr. Holness says criminals have acted in ways which are sometimes astonishing and admitted that the confidence of citizens in the security forces is being eroded. The prosecution and the defense in the criminal matter against businessman Patrick Powell are to return to court on June 28 to make their final submissions before Parish Judge Vaughan Smith. Before the defense closed its case on Thursday, Powell begged the judge for mercy. However, he denied the charge of failing to hand over his licensed firearm to the police for inspection. Powell has argued that while he was in police custody in connection with the murder of schoolboy Kajil Mays, he merely exercised his right to remain silent. According to the defense, when the police asked Powell for his gun permit, he only insisted that he would not speak to them without his lawyer. The Jamaica Football Federation president, Captain Horace Burrell, is to be laid to rest on June 28. Captain Burrell will be buried at Up Park Camp after the funeral at the National Arena. The Sports Minister, Olivia Grange, says the government will work with the Burrell family to plan the service of Thanksgiving in honor of the captain. According to Ms. Grange, Jamaica owes Captain Burrell a huge debt of gratitude for his work. The funeral begins at 10 a.m. with a tribute concert, followed by the service of Thanksgiving in keeping with the family's wish for a celebratory event. And the Culture Minister has unveiled a smaller version of the Usain Bolt statue to be erected in Jamaica. Grange revealed the art piece by sculptor Basil Watson at a press conference on Friday morning as she sought to dispel as fake news images of another statue that was being circulated on social media. She said all stakeholders are being consulted as the creation of the life-size statue progresses. Grange said the statue of Bolt will be ready to be erected in August of this year. The Water Resources Authority says persons should not be alarmed by the Red Quashie River near Freeman's Hall and in Low River near Waitabit, Trelawney. The authority says it is conducting a dye tracing exercise in the Rio Bueno watershed. As part of the exercise, dyes were injected in the Quashie River on Wednesday to trace the flow of the path of the river, which sinks and re-emerges. The information will help in the management of the water resources. The Water Authority says the dye is not toxic and will dissipate within a few days. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, a video that's gone viral. Ayele Russell, the man whose girlfriend was found buried at his house in Negril, on tape flirting with weapons.
Bam, 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 bam. I'm gonna squeeze you, man. Big fat clip. Yo, nah, load it, I want to fight, you see me? So, you know, they want to show in the car. He's the one who just haunted, you see me? Yo, girl, you don't understand me, girl. Yo, me love laugh and think, but yo, there's total different sides of me, and I understand there's an evil side and there's a good side. I love her. Love her. Really do love her. And this is a bad one, you know? Man, mad thing, you know? You hear that? Fire. Fire. I throw nothing in my head, that's why I slick up, you know? Yeah. Mad machine, man. Gaza General. Really sweet, you see me? Bad.